Hello, my name is Nicolas Polimenakos. I work here for the Northwest Astrological Conference, otherwise known as NORWAC. Today I'm with Maurice Fernandez. Hello, Maurice.
Hi, Nicholas.
Good to see you.
Looking forward.
Yeah, can see you in person.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's kind of funny these days in our time that we live. It's a thing like, oh, can't wait to see you in person. We see each other a lot on videos or
Yeah,
communicating through emails, stuff like that. But it's become a thing. This basic human thing has become a priority. See each other face to face.
I
So,
agree. And I agree that for astrology as well,
mhm,
just for the way our brain works,
mhm.
there's something that is transmitted very differently when we're in person and when you know, we actually connect. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, yeah, me too. And then the amazing thing about the world these days is how we can bridge the gap. And that's what we're doing here for NORWAC this year, which is May 21st to the 25th, just outside of Seattle. You can get a ticket in person, but you can also watch online, and hence the bridge of the two worlds. So, Maurice, you'll be having two lectures during the weekend. The first lecture you're doing on Friday, the opening day. I think it's right after the opening ceremony. You have a lecture. It's called Wounds and Remedies in Astrology. Can I read the first sentence of this? I think this is interesting. We all have scars to show. Each tells a complex story of pain and resilience. What are the different wounds that each planet can cause? So tell us a little bit more about this lecture.
Yeah, it's a theme that I've been developing for a few years. And I keep exploring and excavating from that because I think it's very rich and very relevant to everyone. So this is an introduction. We have an hour and a half to cover a massive topic, right?
Mhm.
And so the premise is that indeed, as we go through life, we learn astrology and we see how each planet represents something different. If it's Mars, it's how we act, and if it's Jupiter, it's a belief system. And every planet has a risk of wounding. So there's no categorization about, oh, this is a good planet. It's only going to give you uh, pleasant experiences, and these are the bad ones who are going to challenge you, viciously. So the point is to understand that there is a risk of wound. But then when we recognize the wound, that same planet has the code
Mm.
to remedy, to bring a solution, and, how to transform a crisis into an opportunity kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm. I think it's interesting you're saying this, considering for those who are watching here, Maurice and I are recording this pretty much during a Scorpio full moon that has a major Mars and Aries and Jupiter influence on the lunation. So I think this is apropos. I find it interesting what you just said, because that's where we are with this lunation, at least today. So.
Yeah, yeah, it's right on my sun.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, see, we didn't plan. It's funny, we didn't plan this conversation like, oh, we're gonna do it right here when it's on your sun. It just happened that way. And that's what a lot of astrology is, I guess, to me too, is when we see the synchronicities that happen and the symbolism. Again, your lecture is going to be Friday, May 22nd at 2:45 p.m. Pacific. Anybody watching, you can go to norwac.net to read the rest of the lecture descriptions, the speaker bios, the whole schedule for the conference, the pre and post conference lectures. Everything is on the website at norwac.net. We move into Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, and your next lecture is called The 12th House: The Secrets of Happiness. I have never seen that sentence before in my life. I
Yeah.
am really curious about this lecture, Maurice. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. I've done research into the 12th house, for 26 years. intently, and you may know about the book on
Yep.
the 12th house that I wrote. And that's exactly the point, is that the 12th house and maybe all the water houses are, I believe, very misunderstood. And one of the reasons is that water houses expose our vulnerabilities. That's kind of a common thread. And so when we're vulnerable, it's not as pleasant than when we're on top of our game. But the 12th house is is very complex. Let's remember, just astronomically, that
Mm.
the sun every morning rises into the 12th house.
Yeah.
So there's more to the 12th house than something hidden or, retreat. What I understand it to be is basically our relationship with fate,
Mm.
the things that we cannot control in our lives. You know, we have a body, we have five fingers, we have 24 hours a day. These are things that are decided for us. We're born into a reality that's already happening for us. And the 12th house represents our relationship with the things that are bigger than us, that are, spiritual, but can also be just, things that happen to us that we did not plan.
Mm. Yeah.
And so there's something very passive about it. The same way that every night we go to sleep and we surrender in that passive state. So the secret of happiness has a lot to do with how are you accepting your fate? How are you accepting the things you cannot control?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times with stuff like this too, it's I think dilemma as a human being is the resistance to acceptance. A lot of times we're resisting what's coming, or we don't know, or our awareness and not quite knowing where we are and having to wade through the fog or the mist of it all. But I think this is very interesting. I love the way that you just explained this. Again, in your lecture description here, it says a great number of prominent, successful, and influential figures have strong 12th houses. So I'm assuming you're going to show some of that in the lecture. Typically, when we think about 12th house, we're not thinking strong individual figures, right? Typically. So yeah, yeah,
Exactly. It is so misunderstood. So I
yeah.
hope it's going to shed some light. But some examples, just think about um, Elon Musk, a 12th house sun,
Hmm.
and um, the Virgin Enterprise, Richard
Oh,
Branson,
Branson, yeah,
12th
that's
house.
right. Hmm.
So, a whole slew of them, there's a lot to unpack. And so we're going to look at different planets in the 12th, how that mitigates things. It's going to be enlightening.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like the word you use at the end there for that one. Uh, Again, anybody watching, you can go to norwac.net to check out the lecture descriptions. You can see the whole schedule. The interesting thing, Maurice, about NORWAC and what's happened besides the in-person is the virtual part. We do these virtual Q&As during the conference. So basically in between the lecture tracks, there's like 30 to 40 minutes. And several speakers get together. I facilitated, or Laura does. You're going to be part of one that's on Sunday, Sunday morning at 10 a.m. It will be yourself, Dimitri George, Redwood Narragon, and Sean Nygaard will be in the room. I most likely will facilitate that one, and people who are watching online usually pose a question, and it starts a conversation, and it's improvisational for about 30 minutes. So we do that through the whole conference weekend. And Maurice, you'll be part of that on Sunday.
I mean,
Maurice,
it's great because I know from previous years that many people online feel forgotten
yeah,
and, they're not seen. So the fact that you're kind of making a point to
Yeah.
engage. That's great.
Yeah, no, it's a part of it. The last couple years, we also have like Samantha Hammer's our host online, so she throws a virtual party that has a theme on the Saturday night for those online. And then this year, I was thinking of an idea is the Thursday night before the conference. I think between 5 and 7 p.m. Pacific, we're going to open up the main room even before the conference starts for people to come in and talk or if they want any information about the weekend. So I'll be there. Samantha will be at home, and I'll be there on the floor at the hotel in person to engage with everybody online before the conference starts. So,
Your
uh,
pros.
yeah, or just try to do something. I personally am the type of person that if something is repetitively happen, each time it happens, I have to throw a little bit of something in there to just change it, but change it a little. The Mercury and Gemini with me will get bored, so I have to do something, and Laura's there right with it too, So, Maurice, it's going to be great to see you at the conference in person. You have a history there too, because you've spoken many times on over the history of NORWAC. So, you're part of that family and crew. So it'll be good to see you.
Absolutely. I had my breakthrough moments at NORWAC as far
Ah,
as my professional development. So it was one of the early, um, you know, public speaking engagement I had aside from an evolutionary conference. So I'm
mhm.
very thankful.
Yeah, yeah. And the hotel's the same, the layout's still the same. It's very
There's something
conducive.
about structure and Capricorn.
Yes, definitely. Yes, our beautiful, strong, consistent host, Laura Nalbandian, and that's what we're referencing here. It's all there. And that's what traditions are built on, Maurice. 42nd straight year of doing NORWAC from the Nalbandian family. It's incredible. So if anybody watching, you want to participate, whether it's in person or online, again, you can go to norwac.net for the schedules, the times, the rates, everything. All right. Maurice, I'll see you soon, huh? In a couple weeks.
Flights are ready.
All right. See you.